Welcome to Creative Genius Labs. I'm your host, Zane Wild. Today, on Creative Genius Labs, imagine a world where your deepest fears become your greatest art. Today, we'll explore how one man's oppressive childhood and inner demons fueled his creative vision, leaving you questioning. Can embracing your personal darkness truly unlock your unique potential? The darkness pressed against him, thick and suffocating. A small boy huddled in a cramped closet, clutching a broken toy soldier, his only companion in the oppressive silence. Outside, the rigid world of a Lutheran parsonage hummed with unforgiving discipline. But inside his mind, something extraordinary was taking shape. This was Ingmar Bergman's first canvas. Imagine a childhood where your imagination is your only escape, where every shadow holds a story and every moment of isolation becomes a seed of creativity. You might think such an environment would crush a child's spirit, but for Bergman, it would become the crucible of his genius. His father was a Lutheran pastor, a man who believed in strict discipline and unquestioning obedience. Punishment wasn't just a consequence, it was a way of life. Picture cold stone floors, hushed whispers, the sharp crack of a hand against skin. This wasn't just a home, it was a spiritual prison. But prisoners, often dream the most elaborate escapes. For young Ingmar, that escape came through a magical device that would change everything, a magic lantern. More than a simple projector, it was a portal to other worlds. While other children memorized biblical verses, Bergman was creating entire universes with flickering images and his own wild imagination. You felt it, haven't you? That moment when you realize you're different, when the world seems to move in one direction and you're pulled somewhere entirely unexpected. Labeled odd by family and community, he refused to conform. His oddness wasn't a weakness, it was his greatest strength. In the suffocating environment of post-war Sweden, where conformity was currency, Bergman was learning to transform his pain into art. Each moment of isolation, each harsh word, each punishment, they weren't obstacles. They were raw materials for his future masterpieces. Theater became his first true liberation. Here, unlike the rigid parsonage, creativity wasn't a sin, it was celebrated. Imagine the rush of finally finding a space where your unique vision isn't just tolerated, but demanded. For Bergman, the stage was more than a platform, it was freedom. But freedom, you'll learn, always comes with its own set of challenges. His directorial talents quickly gained recognition. Productions flowed from him like water, each more daring than the last. Over 170 theatrical productions, a number that would make most artists dizzy with accomplishment. Yet beneath this success, a storm was brewing. Anxiety, fear, a constant battle with inner demons. Success, you see, doesn't automatically heal childhood wounds. Bergman's professional triumphs were always shadowed by personal turmoil. He was creating magnificent art while struggling to create meaningful personal relationships. Can you feel the tension? The brilliant artist who couldn't quite connect. Post-war Europe was a landscape of restrictions, censorship, economic challenges. For many, these would be insurmountable barriers. But for Bergman, they became the very constraints that would forge his unique artistic vision. Limitations, he discovered, could be the most powerful form of creative fuel. As he transitioned from theater to film, the stakes grew higher. Each project wasn't just an artistic endeavor, it was a personal exorcism. a way to confront the darkness that had defined his childhood, to transform trauma into something beautiful and universal. Then came The Seventh Seal, a film that would change cinema forever. Picture Bergman, consumed with passion, bringing his internal conflicts to vivid life on screen. The iconic chess game with death wasn't just a scene. It was a metaphor for humanity's eternal struggle. This wasn't just a film. This was a manifesto. A symbolic language was emerging. Themes of existential questioning, the silence of God, human isolation, these weren't just artistic choices. They were the very landscape of Bergman's inner world, now projected for everyone to see. The world was about to meet an artist who would redefine what cinema could be. If you're enjoying Creative Genius Labs, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. Unlock hacks that make Vinci, Banksy, and Lady Gaga creative giants. Now, back to the episode. Exile wasn't just a geographical reality for Bergman. It was a metaphorical state he'd known his entire life. Accused of tax evasion, forced from his homeland, he found himself cast out once again. But artists like Bergman don't break, they transform. Faroe Island became his sanctuary and his prison. Imagine retreating to a windswept Baltic island, surrounded by nothing but your own thoughts and creativity. For Bergman, this wasn't punishment, it was liberation. Here, isolated from the world, he would create some of his most profound work. The island wasn't just a location, it was a canvas. Your greatest struggles, you'll learn, can become your most powerful creative fuel. Bergman's personal life was a minefield of complex relationships, failed marriages, distant children. 8 children, yet only 3 would attend his funeral. The contradiction was quintessentially Bergman. He was a man who could illuminate humanity's deepest emotions, yet struggled to connect personally. Each film became a form of emotional archaeology, digging through layers of pain, exploring the human condition with brutal honesty. His work wasn't just entertainment, it was a philosophical investigation, a mirror held up to the human soul. Filmmakers from Woody Allen to David Lynch would trace their artistic lineage back to him. Bergman didn't just make films, he invented an entire language of emotional storytelling. He showed the world that cinema could be as profound and nuanced as literature. Your art, he demonstrated, is your truest autobiography. As he aged, Bergman didn't soften. He became more precise, more ruthless in his artistic vision. Aging for him was like climbing a mountain, each step more challenging, but the view increasingly expansive. He continued working into his 80s, refusing to let time or personal demons silence him. Here's what most people miss. Your wounds are not your weakness, they are your creative power. Bergman transformed the very shadows that once imprisoned him into a revolutionary form of art. The dark closet of his childhood became the magic lantern of his creativity. Every moment of isolation, every painful memory became raw material for his genius. So here's the real question. What are the shadows in your own life? What darkness are you avoiding that might actually be your greatest source of creativity? Bergman's life isn't just a biography, it's a blueprint for transformation. He showed that our deepest pain can become our most profound art. That being odd isn't a curse, it's a superpower. That creativity isn't about perfection, but about honest, unflinching exploration. Your magic lantern is waiting. Will you have the courage to turn on its light? The most profound art emerges from the deepest shadows. And you, yes, you have your own shadows to explore. What will you create? On the next episode of Creative Genius Labs, Bergman's journey shows us how personal demons can fuel profound creativity. But what happens when that creativity is channeled into challenging the very foundations of society? Imagine a world where art becomes a weapon, a tool to dismantle injustice and ignite revolution. Next week, we delve into the life of a theatrical innovator who dared to use the stage as a platform for radical change. He faced censorship, political persecution, and the complex realities of revolutionary ideals. This is the story of how one person's unwavering commitment to social justice transformed the world of performance. Get ready to witness the power of theater to challenge, provoke, and ultimately inspire. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. 7 days, 7 creative legends. Unlock your inner creative genius using the secret tactics of history's most revolutionary artists. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/CGL. Thanks for watching.